crime is the violation of law or regulation for which some legitimate governing authority can prescribe conviction. Crime also requires a guilty act in combination with a required state mental state or guilty mind. When the defined act and mental state are proven beyond a reasonable doubt, criminal liability result. Okay, for instance, if a person were charged with negligent homicide, most domestic jurisdictions will define the crime as killing a human being through gross negligence. Gross negligence means conduct that grossly deviated and from ordinary care. The act is the killing of a human being and the mental state is the gross negligence. The first non-criminal prosecution against party involved in aircraft accidents such as pilot, airline, maintenance provider, air traffic controller and others occurred in 1979. On October 8, 1979, I think, a Swiss Air flight crashed in Athens, Greece due to overshooting the runway during landing. 40 passengers were killed. The Greek prosecutor brought negligent manslaughter, negligent body injury and disrupting the safety of air service charge against the captain and the first officer. Both pilots received sentence of 4 years in prison, which was later converted into a fine. MH370 is considered a criminal act. As it stayed on Kuala Lumpur, April 2, local investigators say the plane deviation from its original path is considered a criminal act, either by a pilot or by someone else on board. Malaysia announced on March 15 that MH370 was diverted from its path to Beijing through deliberate action, that it was now focusing investigated on the 12 crew and 227 passengers on board. The wide-body plane carrying 239 people was originally meant to fly to Beijing when it left Kuala Lumpur on the morning of March 8. Investigators have so far said all 227 passengers were cleared by intelligence agencies from all countries where nationals were on board, except for Russia that had yet to produce any information. MH370 has devastating effect on Malaysia airline finance. The tragedy contributed to a widening net loss for the first quarter of 2014 to 443.3 million compared to a 278.8 million loss in the same period last year. MAS said that the additional stress of the disappearance result in a high number of cancellations, with sales in China falling by 60% in March. The struggling airline has been losing money for 3 years running. In 2013, it made a full year loss of 1.7 billion ringgit. The steepening losses are expected to trigger a major overhaul of the state-run company. China is the most important trade partner for Malaysia. Hence, the Southeast Asian nation is vulnerable to any downturn in trade and investment flow from Beijing. Furthermore, the Chinese make up the third largest source of foreign visitors, thus playing an important part in Malaysia's tourism sector, a key contributor to the country economy. Tourism flow from China to Malaysia had risen strongly in recent years, with 1.79 million Chinese visiting the country in 2013, up 14.9% compared to the previous year. But there have been reports recently of sharply lower Chinese tourism booking for travel to Malaysia in the aftermath of the loss of MH370, so this will hurt tourism. While the short-term response from the Chinese citizen has been very adverse, the overall political and economic ties between China and Malaysia will be seen from the long-term strategic perspective by the Chinese government. To stabilize the long-term economic relationship, the Malaysian government has also made tremendous effort to reach out the Chinese government and people to try to show their goodwill. This is likely to help with eventually diffusing the negative sentiment prevailing at the moment. The impact of crime on the airline industry can be enormous. It can lead to unemployment, homelessness, deflation and many other social and economic ill. The contribution of airline industry for many countries is so great that any downturn in the industry is a cause of major concern for many governments. The repercussions are left in many other industries associated with tourism like airline, hotel, restaurant and shop that cater to the tourist and ally service. Terrorism is an enigmatic and compelling phenomenon, and its relationship with airline industry is complex and multifaceted.